Good afternoon, I'm Sangeeta, Kandola. The Sudanese army say in the coming hours they will facilitate the evacuation of diplomats and nationals from Britain, the US, France and China as heavy fighting continues. It's understood they'll be taken out of Sudan on military planes. Well, our political correspondent Libby Vina joins me now. Well, Libby, what more do we know at this stage?
Well, more than 400 people are believed to have died in Sudan in intense fighting over the last week, and there are said to be several thousand foreign nationals trapped in the country. Their situation getting ever more perilous. We've heard stories of people running out of food, running out of water. Now, the British Embassy in Khartoum, we understand, has been trying to contact British nationals, compiling a list of where people are, should there be an evacuation, that they can be rescued and taken to a place of safety. America, we understand, has moved Marines into the Gulf state of Djibouti ahead of a potential evacuation of their nationals. And we also know that James Cleverly, the Foreign Secretary, has cut short a trip to the Far East to try and deal with this crisis. So you may cast your mind back to August 2021 and the evacuation of people from Afghanistan, which wasn't seen as a huge success for the Foreign Office or the Foreign Secretary at the time. I think they do want to get a grip of this. The big problem, of course, is the fighting in the city. A ceasefire had been arranged, but there's no sign of it holding. The Sudanese army, though, is promising that it can organise some kind of evacuation of foreign nationals in the coming days.
OK, Libby, thank you very much. Today marks 30 years since the murder of Stephen Lawrence. A memorial service has been held in central London in honour of the teenager who died in a racist attack in 1993. Well, our reporter Hamish Hoskeri is there. Hamish, an emotional day for the family.
Yes, a very poignant day for Stephen's family on this, the 30th anniversary of his murder in what was a racially motivated attack. Stephen was just 18 then. It would take his family nearly 2 decades to get any kind of justice when 2 men were jailed for his murder. In 1999, Lord Macpherson would conclude that failings and delays by the police was caused by institutional racism. Today at the service, Stephen's mother, Baroness Doreen Lawrence, arrived with the Labour leader, Sir Keir Starmer. He made a short reading, as did Sadiq Khan, the London mayor, with his reflections 30 years on. Also present today was the Met Police Commissioner, Sir Mark Rowley. Of course, it comes during a very difficult time for the force, given last month the Casey review concluded the force is still institutionally racist. Sir Mark Rowley, reiterated his apology to the family about the failings by police after his murder. In the order of service today, though, Stephen's mother, Baroness Lawrence, talked about how today was about mourning his loss, but also about celebrating the powerful, positive changes that his life brought about in society. She said his life was tragically cut short, but Stephen's legacy will continue to inspire and challenge us for generations to come.
OK, Hamish, thank you very much. A think tank has said Dominic Raab's response to the report on bullying accusations against the former Deputy Prime Minister will make future civil servant complaints more difficult. Mr Raab resigned from his positions in government yesterday after an inquiry found he was intimidating towards staff. The Confederation of British Industry is suspending key activities until June following allegations of rape and sexual assault. More than a dozen allegations of sexual misconduct from women who worked for the CBI has sparked an exodus of major businesses, including Meta, NatWest and John Lewis. The US Supreme Court has paused restrictions on a widely used abortion pill, allowing the drug to remain available while a legal case continues. Hannah Kings has the full story.
Abortion ban, save lives! Abortion ban! The United States Supreme Court has in the last few hours delivered a decision to preserve women's access to a commonly used abortion pill, in what some have called one of the most important abortion cases in years. Protesters gathered outside the court in Washington, D.C. on Friday afternoon.
We are here to call upon the United States Supreme Court
as justices decided whether to uphold or overturn a ruling made by a lower court in Texas 2 weeks ago to restrict access to drug mifepristone, used in over half of abortions in the US. The pill was approved for use in 2000 and has been taken by over 5 million women. The ruling from the Texas court would have rolled back the US Food and Drug Administration's approval of the pill, restricting its use even in states where abortion is currently allowed. The Supreme Court's consideration of the ruling was in response to emergency requests from makers of the drug, Danco Laboratories, and from President Biden's administration. The president tweeted shortly after the decision, promising to continue to fight attacks on women's health. Today's decision will now be appealed, but it's expected that mifepristone will remain available in the US until at least next year, while legal processes and fierce debate continue. Hannah Kings, ITV News.
It's a big day for Wrexham as they prepare for the biggest football match in their history. A win against Boreham Wood tonight would put them back in the Football League for the first time in 15 years. Finally, the actor and comedy legend Barry Humphries has died at the age of 89.
The Jubilee Girl is here, Pasha!
During a 7-decade career, the Australian stage and screen veteran entertained generations with satirical characters, including Dame Edna Everage and Celeste Patterson. The Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese called him the brightest star in a galaxy of personas. Comedian Matt Lucas described him as quite simply the greatest. Barry Humphries, who has died at the age of 89. And that's it. There's no evening news tonight due to the FA Cup semi-final between Manchester City and Sheffield United. Live coverage starts here on ITV1 at 4 o'clock. Rebecca Barry's here with the late news at 10:20. Bye for now.